Begins on Christmas 1974 with a boy named Thaddeus Savannah. On his way to his grandfather's house, he plays with a magical ball to distract himself from his father's criticism and the taunts of his older brother, Sid. However, after Sid takes the toy from him to make cruel jokes, the magical ball begins to display strange symbols in place of the usual messages. Thaddeus then realizes that his family has vanished, and the car suddenly starts accelerating terrifyingly. When it stops, Thaddeus discovers that he has been transported to a temple in another dimension, where the wizard Shazam resides. He is the one who protects the realms from the 7 deadly sins, and now it is time to choose a successor, as he is getting old. This is Thaddeus's chance to obtain incredible power, as long as he can prove his heart is pure. It is then that the statues on the wall, representing the sins, also begin to speak to him, saying that Shazam is lying. They explain that there is another source of power right there in the middle of the temple, the Eye, a mystical object with phenomenal properties. Dazzled by the promises of victory and the chance to prove his worth to his father, Thaddeus makes a terrible mistake and reaches out to grab it. Disappointed, Shazam explains that this was already the test and sends the boy back to normalcy. He is so inconsolable that his reaction ends up causing a terrible accident in which his father gets severely injured. The magical ball rolls to his feet and the display shows the message, "Find us." Several decades later, we meet the boy Billy Batson, who lives in Philadelphia and doesn't have much sense. Lying that he saw criminals in a store, he locks a pair of police officers inside to use the computer with access to confidential data. His aim is to find his mother, Rachel, from whom he got lost at an amusement park 10 years ago. Since then, he has done everything to find her, always fleeing from orphanages and driving the authorities mad. Since the Rachel Batson he found this time doesn't look much like him, Billy is once again relocated. The couple, Victor and Rosa Velasquez, warmly welcome the boy, and his new home already has 5 other children. The 2 youngest are Darla, an excited little girl, and Eugene, obsessed with games. The oldest is named Mary and is about to enter college. Pedro is a boy who doesn't speak much, and Freddie is a big superhero fan. The next day, the 5 go to school, and Darla takes charge of showing everything to the newcomer. Still upset, Billy gets irritated with the girls' hugs and says that they aren't even real siblings, but he regrets his rudeness right after. Meanwhile, we see that Thaddeus has also grown up with hopes of a reunion. Pretending to sponsor research on hysteria, he manages to locate other candidates rejected by Shazam until he finally finds someone who recorded the abduction on video. With this, he discovers the correct order of the symbols that open the passage between the worlds, and finally returns to the temple after all these years. Face to face with the now very weakened wizard, he announces that he did not come to ask for another chance, but to accept his fate. The 7 sins begin to free themselves from the walls as he absorbs the power of the Eye, and Shazam no longer has the strength to stop them. After school, Freddie is nearly hit by bullies Burke and Ted, who then start attacking him. Billy almost leaves directly, but decides to go back to face them when he hears some lame jokes about not having a mom. Shocked by the audacity of the newcomer, the duo chases him to the subway, but fails to catch him before he boards. Now Billy is alone in the car, and the train starts accelerating too fast, while the letters on the panel turn into a series of strange symbols. With a sudden stop, the doors open to Shazam's temple, and the boy steps forward cautiously. The wizard is already waiting for him with the same proposal as always. He says that this temple is the Rock of Eternity, from where all magic comes, and its guardian is chosen every generation. The reason for his excessive caution is that a huge tragedy occurred when a poorly chosen guardian betrayed the Council of Wizards, releasing the 7 deadly sins to spread misery and destruction. Not very impressed by this whole speech, Billy regrets to inform that there is no one so pure anymore. But the wizard insists that he needs to pass the baton before it's too late, and now his desperation is such that he even skips the test. Following his instructions, Billy touches the staff and says his name aloud. Immediately struck by a lightning bolt, he transforms into an adult in seconds, already wearing a superhero suit. To top off the scare, the wizard starts disintegrating in front of him until he vanishes. Terrified, Billy says he wants to leave right away, and his wish is instantly granted. He resurfaces in the middle of the subway car, provoking laughter with his getup. Not knowing what happened, the Velasquez family starts to think he ran away, and the children try to help find him. Freddie gets startled when Billy surprises him at the window, as he doesn't recognize him. He proves his identity by repeating parts of their conversation from the day before, and they agree to meet later. The two then start experimenting, trying to discover what superpower Billy has. Flying doesn't go very well, and invisibility is soon discarded. But then they inadvertently discover lightning production. Trying to use this power to stop a robbery, Billy also activates super speed and discovers his super strength. What still leaves much to be desired is the overall approach, as the victim ends up handing over his money out of more fear of him than of the robber. This gives the boy a terrible idea of what to do with his new body, and he goes with Freddy to a convenience store to try to buy beer. Coincidentally, a pair of robbers walk up to the counter while they are inside. Billy decides to keep practicing fighting crime, and Freddy almost bursts with happiness when one of the robbers